Hello, everyone. So, this idea has come to mind. It's just a fact of what should Sony have done, or what should Sony should do. So, everyone knows right now that Sony has just rebooted Spider-Man. They're in the second movie, and it underperformed. Even though I think that the second Spider-Man actually was pretty good. I do have to admit, it was pretty good. It kind of actually stopped me from actually saying Spider-Man 4. We need Spider-Man 4. Or we need a reformed Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi's actual original vision on it. Yeah, it kind of swayed me from actually talking about it, and, well, yeah. So, just here's the crazy part. Some things to actually think about is the idea that what if they could have found out about the Spider-Verse thing and actually did something about it? I mean, what I think is that when they first started, yes, they wanted to be just like the Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight trilogy. They basically tried to make it darker and everything, which that was a bad setup. And especially everyone who's a Superman and a Spider-Man fan looking at either Man of Steel or the Amazing Spider-Man, those characters aren't in the darkness at all. It's just not fitting to actually put those characters that are very, 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 very in the shining light of the sun, into a very, very dark presence where all the freaking fights are at night. Well, even though for Man of Steel, I don't think the fights were always at night, but still, for Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, the fights were mostly at night, and it was, yeah, I mean, of course, basically, I don't have any feelings for it. I still have to get the extended cut that was on Blu-ray, I think. So, for right now, I still have to stand that I have no feeling for it. It's very, very horrible. It's just, well, horrible for people who actually are like, but it's Spider-Man. Right now, it's just seemed as what it is. The fact that it's just something they had to throw out to actually keep their rights, even though it's kind of stupid on the other hand. The fact that they sabotaged Spider-Man 3 just to do a reboot where they actually had to stumble and actually get something done instead of actually just allowing Sam Raimi to make Spider-Man 4, then actually axe him in the back with an even more elaborate plan. So it's kind of interesting. I do have to admit, it is quite interesting the fact that they just did that. And of course, they did one thing that everybody was rooting for, was to see the Lizard in battle. Which, we got that, but the sad part is that they got rid of so many scenes that could actually made the Lizard what the Lizard is. The Lizard is actually a friend of Spider-Man, a friend of Peter Parker. Given, since they did kind of hint it at the first time, which is the big downfall of them all, it's the fact that you had Avi Red who said this is based on the Ultimates. And then as soon as we watch, it's basically not Ultimates at all. Yes, it has some Ultimates flair to it, but it's not actually Ultimates based at all, which is quite, yeah, it's quite upsetting, truth be told. It seems like, oh, if someone put it in a good way, it's the fact that they threw so many things from other things. They threw in, like, the Spectacular Spider-Man series. It seems like they used that a lot. They used Amazing Spider-Man, and they put some little droplets of the Ultimate in there and stirred. Which, the other question is the fact of, if you're using Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series, then why the heck did you even allow it to get canceled? Which I already explained in another video, the fact that there's 5 years, they could have actually allowed all 5 of the seasons come out. Then you could actually have even more pulp to actually say, we could do this. We could definitely do this. Oh yeah, definitely throw in some of those. But instead they allowed Disney to cut it off. And then you don't really have enough to do anything truly to it. I mean, yeah, you don't really have anything to really based it off of. So, yeah. But what they could have done, since they really wanted to get into the budgeting, or at least the audiences who watched the trilogy of Dark Knight, they could have just went with Noir. They could have done with that. They could have actually went with, which is my number one star here, is the Russian Spider-Man. The Spider-Man who went to Russia and lost himself. Of course, then they have to make a little teeny tiny deal with Fox, which it looks like to me that they might have some little teeny tiny way to actually get Fox to give a deal with them. Because if they join forces with Fox, because with the Russia storyline, you actually do need Wolverine in it. So it's kind of like, yeah, you might need Wolverine. So what they could have done is just what they were trying to do, to make Spider-Man movies every year. And then as soon as it comes to the point of maybe the Avengers, maybe I would say the third Avengers, you can create SpiderVerse, the actual movie SpiderVerse, with all the Spider-Mans you actually set up. Given eventually you'll start with Amazing Spider-Man, the trilogy, or whatever you want to do with it, which that actually will help. That will help some. That will kind of help. But the real deal here is just the fact of, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know what Sony is doing here. I mean, they're jumping back and forth in so many ideas. The fact that they want to do movies every single year. But, yeah, you have 2014 here, and then you have 2015. I don't see any movie there. 2016, I think they might have a movie. But 2017, they definitely have a movie. So, it's kind of odd, the fact that they have the whole, we want to do a movie every single year. And yet, they basically have nothing to show for it exactly. Which I think we all can give props to Avier Red, who actually is like, is Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That's it. There's no other Spider-Man, just Peter Parker. That's where he basically nailed the coffin to the Sony. Might be eventually have to give it Spider-Man up. As for people who love Spider-Man and they actually want Spider-Man Peter Parker to actually be in Avengers, I don't think that will actually work. Yeah, I don't think it'll work at all. Sad to say, but yeah, I don't think it will work because they run Peter Parker straight to the ground right now. Given the second movie did great, but the foundation they have it on, the first movie, the foundation is not that good. The foundation is very, very horrible. It's very, very wobbly. And technically, I think they should have just took their chances and redid the whole entire quote-unquote Sam Raimi thing. Just the fact that you have the love interest is Mary Jane. You'll have Gwen Stacy in there. You have Harry in there. Yeah, just get the whole entire cast in there already. Make them friends. Show Oscorp. Let's see what else. Oh, you already have Dr. Octopus ready to go. He's hinted in there already. So basically what will happen is just the whole entire thing where what's cool is that you'll actually get to see where he gets his outfit from, which is from the wrestling place. Given they did have the whole, he drops into the ring and he sees that mask over there. He's like, I need to wear a mask. Even though it's different. It's way different from what you think it is from the first actual Spider-Man movie. I mean, it'll have the same rehashes, but hey, what you expect? It's Spider-Man. I mean, of course, if you redo Spider-Man, there's going to be a lot more rehashes than you want it to have. Given the animated series is quite different from each other. So if you're able to do that, that actually will bring more icing. And of course, the first villain he would go up against is actually the Goblin. Yeah. But this time it's Ultimate Green Goblin. The fact that you have Green Goblin actually turning himself into this monster, he killed his wife. Yeah, he actually killed his wife. So there's your part. Yeah, there you go. There's the murder you wanted. I don't really know what happened with Uncle Ben though. But yeah, it's in the next book. Yeah, so Uncle Ben actually survives longer than usual. I guess that's a cool part. So, yeah. I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to say for Sony and their Spider-Man thing. It's just that right now it seems like they need to stay on one path. Yeah, it's kind of like what they say in Spider-Man 2, stay focused and yeah, know what you want to do. Given, yes, you got rattled cages, the fact that they're like the Avengers and they're like, holy crap, what we're gonna do? How in the world we can deal with that? Yeah. And of course, lots of people say Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was nothing but a promo to the Sinister Six, and technically it wasn't even a film for its own self. But given it, I think it personally is a film for its own self. I think it actually makes it as its own film. Given, yes, they gave promos to Sinister Six, the fact that even the trailers itself actually hinted to Sinister Six too, which, yeah. I will end it with this, is that they technically, if they wanted to do the girl thing, do all, let's see what it says right here. Oh yeah, I mean, all female Spider-Man universe team up or something like that. I was always asking what the hell Felicia's doing there. And of course there's the freaking cube right there with all the stuff that Oscorp has. Yeah, all the things that, yeah, Harry's dad had in there. I would figure you could have made an alternate, ends credit, even though your first ends credit was just be the head of Norman Osborn in a tank. The other one could actually have set up for a spin-off movie if you were bold enough, or at least have some people hinting at something interesting, so let me just give you a nice little rundown. Let's say Felicia Hardy actually was in there spying, and what her real thing was to do is get information from Oscorp. And luckily enough, she was able to get into Harry's good side, and when he was taken away, when he was getting kicked out of the building, she snagged that cube, and by the end of the movie, or ends credit, that would be for her. It basically would be her walking to a limo, putting the cube in the person's hand, and the person's driving off. Heck, it could be Mr. Fear. You can make it like that. Or you could basically just have the idea of there's someone else out there who actually wants Oscorp knowledge. And I guess the worst part is that they can't actually make it Wilson Fisk. But I think they can actually make Tombstone, since they love doing the whole Spectacular Spider-Man lean on. So they could actually make it Tombstone or Hammerhead. Either one they want to do. And yeah, there you go. Or Silvermane. Yeah, or Silvermane. So there you go. There's like something that they could have done that actually could have helped them with this whole, we are getting a female character, her own spin-off movie. So for right now, I would just say, I don't know. Yeah, Sony is basically very confusing right now. So for right now, I'm just going to say I don't know. And I'll eventually will dig into the Sam Raimi films one more time just to see if I missed something that was very, very crucial. Anyways, I'm webbing out. See you later and peace.